Greetings and salutations, friends, and welcome to Regiments. This is a real-time strategy game set in a Cold War gone hot, being released by Microprose later this month, on August the 16th to be precise. And, as many of you know, I have a great deal of time for Microprose, because they are genuinely a rather visionary company that is willing to take a lot of risks on interesting ideas and projects, and this is one of them. This game has been developed by a single developer who has gotten help from Microprose to do things like the 3D modeling, some map work, and some community work. But the game itself, the idea and the execution, is the work of a single individual, which is very, very interesting. Unfortunately, sometimes when you're trying to push the limit, not everything works out, and Regiment might be a little bit of an example of that, as what you see right here on screen is what you get. This is an early access version, the key having been provided to me by Microprose's PR agency. But there is, as you can see, no multiplayer aspect to the game whatsoever. No co-op, no competitive multiplayer. There is a tutorial, there is a skirmish game mode, and there are operations, which are the kinda sorta campaigns of the game. Now, a game does not have to have a multiplayer component to be fun, of course, but if you're not going to have multiplayer and you are going to give up on the, considerable replayability that multiplayer grants, you have to nail the single-player aspect. It's gotta be good, and there's no reason why a real-time strategy game can't have a good story, but sadly, the game is rather threadbare in that respect as well. This is one of the operations in-game which are pseudo-dynamic campaigns of a sort, where you have several objectives and phases going up here. You can select some reinforcements that will reinforce your main formation, as you can see here, and there is a story element sort of, which is told in these small communiques over here. But beyond this, there's no cutscenes, voice acting, briefings, or anything else. Like, this is it. And again, I'm not convinced this is good enough for the today market. But let's have a look at it, shall we? So, this is one mission into this operation, so you can see one of my units has taken some casualties here, so I'm going to spend some operational authority to restore that to full. I have bought one reinforcement unit, and you have several other selections you got here, which also costs the operational authority unlock points. However, you can't just use it to get new toys. You also need to use it to unlock deployment points, so you can actually bring them onto the battlefield. Tactical support, which you can use to call in artillery strikes or smoke, etc. And supplies. Yes, you have to buy your bullets as you go, which I am not a fan of that feature, because it turns into a bit of an authority sink, and a bit of an authority sink that you can't ignore either, because, of course, without bullets, you can't actually do anything. So let's buy one more deployment point, one more tactical support, and one supplies here. Which, again, I get why this is here, but I view it mostly as a thing that gets in the way of me getting actually new toys, which is... Right, let's move on to the game. You then have a selection between various events. Repair, depot, damage, refitting, retreating, or destroyed platoons will take much longer. A negative event on to positive. Air superiority, aerial tactical aids are twice as cheap. I don't have any. Recon focus, and extra recon tactical aid is available during this phase. Well, I mean, that's it's better than nothing, I suppose, so let's pick that and head on into the battle. Now, I'm being awfully negative already, and, well, again, I am not convinced this is enough on the modern day market, considering this game is going to be competing with Warno, with Wargame, with the upcoming Company of Heroes 3, etc. But the gameplay I'm actually quite happy with. It takes a much more leisurely approach than Wargame or Warno. Yeah, oh god, Warno, that's a much more faster one again. So you can see I've got some units deployed here from the last battle. The graphics are really nice, by the way. I've always been very impressed by how Wargame and Warno manage these massive fields, there you go, not a sphere yet, with very high detailed unit, and this game pulls that off pretty damn well as well. As you can see here, you can zoom in. The unit quality is pretty damn great. Perhaps a pinch lower than Warno, but considering this is made by, again, one dude with the aid of a company, that's very goddamn impressive. Right, let's see, we've got ourselves some tanks, so let's group those up. Oh, actually, yeah, that's beautiful. It remembers my key bindings from the last mission. That's an excellent little touch. It's a very nice touch. It also remembers that my supply trucks are getting empty, which is a less nice touch, right? Okay, well, I'm probably going to want to rush that over to get some rearmaments then pretty quickly. So I'm going to move that all the way back. Quick move. Make sure we're taking a little bit of the long road. There we are. This is the resupply zone where you can resupply based on this counter right here. These are your overall supplies, and it will tick up slowly. Very slowly. This is an enemy call-in point. Sadly, they can't be turned off by capturing the nearby buildings, which I think is stupid because, well, I'll get into that a little bit more later. We've got a Gepard here. I want to call that in because I've got no other AA. In fact, let's make it a Roland, shall we? Call that in down there, and it will begin moving that up to provide me with some anti-air. Since there's an enemy call-in point right there, I've kind of got to put some defenses up here, so we might leave behind the Jaguar 1, which is ATGM tanks, and the infantry. Now, the infantry will get some bonus cover depending upon the area. So you can see, for example, here, you can see a little tiny shield there. Woods also gives some cover, which is nice. But there is also a line of sight system, so you don't want to put them too deep into cities, etc. Alright, meanwhile, we'll begin moving the rest of our units over here, including our little recon, and we'll start the mission up. Alright, so the objective is to capture a bunch of these things, which will give you command points, and will also give you overall victory points so as to get a better result at the end of the operation. This is a voluntary time limit, so I don't think you lose even if you don't hit the target, but it's there to put a little bit of pressure on you. You only get 20 rounds per phase, which is not particularly long, particularly as, well, here's one of the big issues. Actually, we'll hold on a second. I feel like I am being awfully negative towards this game, and I don't mean to be. It's just, well, you know, if you're critiquing someone, you gotta point out what you perceive to be its errors, don't you? Right. Happy little Luxus. I'm gonna go on ahead and see if they can't find the enemy and order them to hold fire so they don't immediately reveal themselves. Oh, hello. Alright. We've got something up there, so let's... Okay, that's mechanized infantry, right? The tanks will more than happily open up on that, and we'll have our little mortars open up as well. Happy little mortars. I don't have any proper artillery in this army, which is downright tragic, I tell you. But 3 battalions, little squadrons of tanks should do a decent job of it. Now, you'll see that this unit is actually entrenched. You can see there's little guys there with recoilless rifles. They've got their APCs, BTRs, if I'm not mistaken, their little RPGs, etc. Explosions are quite nice too. And when a unit is entrenched like this, it is pretty damn tough. As you can see already, the pace of this game can be relatively slow. Like, shifting a unit that's dug in like this can take a while. It really, really can. I've got like, what, 4, 8... I've got like 12 goddamn tanks, 12 Leopards right now, pounding the hell out of this point, along with mortars, and they still aren't dying. Oh, well, there's... okay, there... That'll bring up the point, isn't it? Radio Intercept reports a counterattack with 1 to 3 platoons involved. This is a smaller counterattack. A counterattack will continuously happen throughout the entire goddamn mission, and I get why. Again, it's to give you, something to deal with continuously, but it is not a very fun mechanic. You gotta deal with a lot of heavily entrenched units which take a long time to reduce whilst you're moving across the map. Whilst this is happening, you are constantly being hit by endlessly respawning free AI units, and you are hit by a lot of them. I have seen counterattacks so high as 7 platoons, which it was more than the size of my entire army at the point. And seeing as you also, need to put stuff back to defend enemy call-in points, I've only got, 3 mainline fighting units, 1 artillery, 1 recon, and 1 AA up here. If the enemy spawns in 4 actual fighting troops, they'll have received basically my entire effective army's worth of units as free reinforcements. And this'll just kinda keep going throughout the entire goddamn game. It gets frustrating real bloody quick, let me tell you. It is not a particularly interesting tactical challenge because you're not dealing with an enemy with limited resources. You're not picking away at their numbers or reducing them for later parts of the operation. You're simply having the AI throw its beep boops at you until you run out of goddamn ammunition, which I have literally had happen on more than one occasion. Where, oh, okay, that's the reinforcements right there. I'm half tempted to move these out, they would be super goddamn useful, but I also don't want to have to double back here and recapture this point because that takes a while. Right, we've called these units, as you can see, out in the open, so they're going to take a lot more damage, a lot quicker. These BMP rights here, I do believe they've dismounted their infantry, as you can see about the little corpses there, but now that they aren't entrenched, they aren't hulled down, they are a lot softer and will take a lot more damage a lot quicker. Let's move up the looks there to begin capturing that, as yet more reinforcements actually moving in here. I'm a bit worried about what the hell this is. Oh, it's just anti-air missiles. Right, I don't care much about that. The command unit, by the way, over here, is not used to capturing points, unlike like Warno and Wargame, etc. It is instead simply a mobile buff vehicle that gives additional accuracy and capabilities to your units. Oh. What do we got here? I believe that's one of the secondary objectives, grad launches. Well, not grads, those are, huh. Oh, claims to be grads. Oh. Well, I'm out. Alright, Urgens are the larger ones. Never mind, my brain was doing a tard.
Objective completed.
Okay, I'll have you hold position there, and we'll roll down. Judging by that projectile, I'm presuming that's probably a dug-in mechanized infantry unit. Don't go too far ahead of the Rolands. You're not particularly well armored. We shall call in some artillery here, I think. Try and brush these out of the way nice and quick, whilst also moving up the mortars. How's my supplies doing? They're still a fair distant off, aren't they? Well, I'll just set up a little order system for them, so they'll show up when I need them. Alright, that was a bit of a waste of a heavy artillery. I got quite lucky there with the accuracy, but oh well. Ammo situation is not looking amazing, but we've got 41% left. Probably enough to push on maybe one more point. Did we cap that? We did. Let's move the looks up. You can also see that the units do unlock veterancy as they continue. These guys are proper veterans, whilst this one has only 2 silver. There's another counterattack of 2 to 4 platoons. This is actually relatively kind to the game right now. There was one mission where the pop-ups barely even went away. It was just like, attack, 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 attack. Ooh, a bit much, bit much. Let's see if the Luxes can find anything interesting. They've cancelled that. Okay, there we are. Alright, well, we're gonna call in artillery on that. The Luxes are getting shot at, don't want that. Let's not have you go that direction. You're gonna get very close to that entrenched infantry, and generally speaking, tanks in urban environments versus infantry is a very, very bad idea, generally speaking. At least I'm not getting pounded by enemy artillery at the moment, which is nice. What are these? T-55s? Yeah, there should be no problems for my Leopards. And the artillery dealt with the entrenched infantry. Excellent. We'll send in the Luxes there. Now see, this kind of gameplay I quite like. I like the more sedated pace. It can still be fairly quick once you know, get stuff into position. It can really start doing the damage. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. Right, let's put down an area recon, see what's coming in here. And an artillery strike, that is a full group right there. The Martyrs and the Yago Jaguars, they should have a reasonable chance of dealing with this, and I don't really want to cancel this offensive. Alright, we got that. Let's double these back since I need to get to the supplies anyways. I'm thinking those are probably out of range. Yes, they are. Alright, that's AA. We don't need to worry about that. Alright, you finish off that unit first. Jaguars deal with the T-55s. There you go, lovely. Oh yeah, they'll hold this, no issues. Very good, very good. Very good indeed. Don't even need the artillery there. Well, if I don't need the artillery, I might as well poke forward a bit with the Luxus, see if I can find anything vulnerable to pick up. I really do think this would probably work excellently in a multiplayer setting, a bit more of a slow, strategic, deliberate style of gameplay. It might also make for a very good co-op campaign, you know, give players a little bit more toys to mess around with, give them a larger amount of points, take 2 players so you can actually defend and attack simultaneously, maybe even pushing multiple areas. To begin with, I tried to carry out multiple offensives over, you know, take multiple points. Didn't really work out very well, considering the amount of firepower you kind of need to get anything done. It is very, very, very difficult to get an effective push going without overwhelming firepower. Supply trucks are almost in position. You can also notice the slow nature of the game here, as it's taken me the half the game to merely resupply and bring back my supply trucks. I doubt the Luxes will be able to get a peek at anything in here without getting spotted. Well, unlikely. Right, well, let's start hitting him a little bit. Oh, get in there. An attack on an urban environment with tanks alone. Hardly ideal. I'm tempted to actually move over these guys. In fact, that might not be a terrible idea. I don't have time for it, though. 8 minutes? I mean, it would take them, like, 2 to get over there. I don't think, yeah. Nope. I don't have time for it. Straight up. Let's simply rearm what we can. And where was it? Let's guess the fire is round about where it was and put down another artillery strike to soften it up. Roland hasn't had anything to do with this game, which is quite tragic. I also need to double back here. The game only gives you 1 supply truck. At least I have yet to see the ability to unlock a... Oh, God, there's another 3 to 5 platoons. So over the course of this game, I'm attacking areas with, like, I think there's 4 enemy units in this zone. You're attacking heavily entrenched areas with 4+ units, whilst constantly getting attacked by armies that are, well, the size of your entire army. again, it's not very tactical, because the AI isn't, it's not really trying to flank you. You know where it's coming from. It doesn't seem to cheat by, flanking around your units in incredibly suspicious fashions, which is nice, something. Are they coming at me from over here? Because I really want to try and get that point. If they are, I can't see them yet. I still don't really want to push in on it with another 5 units on my flank, potentially. Yeah, might as well send the Lux over there. It's useless in the city anyways. Oh, no, there they are. Okie dokie. And... well, I'm running out of artillery. Artillery. Ammo, straight up. And they've got air support. Great. Now, I also can't afford to have more than 1 AA. Hell, most campaigns don't give you more than 1 AA, so what you get is, it's what you get. Christ. And there's just not enough tactical flexibility to be able to deal with stuff like this. I mean, if that area starts falling, it's not like I can stop it. I get 6 minutes left. It's going to take me half that time just to drive back there. And of course, if you don't do that and the area gets captured, they can capture multiple points, and there's really nothing you can do with that either, as you're bound by the command points and how many units you can call in when and where. Now, I can retreat units, so if this unit gets completely destroyed, I could retreat it, but again, that I'm just abandoning the area. The supplies aren't even going to get over there in time, and again, the AI has literally just ran me out of ammunition at this point. Alright, concentrate on that unit because it can actually hurt you. You've got 39% ammo left, you might be able to do something. Don't have any RT left. I doubt you guys... Can you capture one more point? Maybe, possibly. Can they win? Doubtful. They're getting suppressed too.
Zone capture.
Don't really want to put down smoke. Smoke would blind this unit, which would be nice. But it would also mean that I couldn't shoot back, and yeah. It would provide cover for the enemy, which isn't great either.
Zone lost.
Oh, well, they can capture the point while I'm on it, which is also a bench unit, and they would use points for the artillery. Yeah, well, that's lost. And it's not lost because of poor positioning. It's not lost because of any of that. It's lost because I literally don't have enough ammo to deal with, that was what, the 3rd wave of attackers now? Hell, the supplies didn't even have time to get over there. I must have simply assumed they would have attacked and sent the supplies over there premeditatively. And this, again, this is not... It's not something I find particularly fun. You don't have enough units to attack without them. Even in rolling into this area with 3 tanks, it still takes, you know, quite a while to clear it out. And that point is lost, and I can't call in anything else. I have no tactical flexibility in that regard, so I just gotta lose it and hope they don't take too many other points in the 3 minutes, whilst I desperately try to back cap the rest. Now, eventually, these points will be unlocked so that I can call in another unit. I can call the same units in again, basically, which is exactly what I'm going to do here. And then try to rush them back over again. If you lose the entire unit, that's a bigger problem, because you're going to lose all of the veterancy, but just retreating them is usually fine. The issue is, of course, again, the time it's going to take them to actually now get back there. In 3 minutes, they're not going to be able to recap it, but maybe I can get another capture point here. Now that the tanks are max veterancy, they can pretty much steamroll at least light enemy opposition like this. Although I am risking taking a lot of damage point blank ranging on enemy infantry. Yeah. Needs must when the devil drives. And I do have command group backup. There's a pinch of RNG, as you can see, in the ability to hit, so I got a couple of volleys there, which weren't very effective, but then I got a volley off that was very effective. You can win the map outright by taking all of the objectives, which is nice, but, well, I'm going to lose that one too. But, again, if you break anywhere at any point, you are going to get overrun. It's as simple as... At least the game, at least supply units, in my opinion. Supply units should be free. They are. They cost 50 points, which is kind of ridiculous, because a tank costs 100. Which is a little crazy. At least if you could have free supply units, you'd still have to pay for your goddamn bullets, but at least it would be theoretically feasible to hold more than, you know, 1 point against one wave before you have to cancel your entire offensive operation to deal with it. Minute 30 seconds. Yeah, I'm not getting to that point, so, and we'll just speed it up there. Alright, so, some conclusions, some overall impressions here as we wipe out that poor little unit of mechanized infantry. The
1 minute.
game overall, like the design of it, I'm actually quite fond of. Like, I like the idea, I like the pacing, I like the little squadrons you have of units here, I like the animations, I like the lethality level is actually quite alright in my opinion. It's not too quick, it's not too fast. It's just about right. The ability to entrench units anywhere, making them very, very tough, is also a very neat idea. And the ability to actually have infantry combined with the squad for extra firepower is also pretty damn cool. The idea of operations is nice as well, but there's nothing to them. Like, did I even... Oh, there you go. I unlocked 2 little pieces of story there. Yes, we have these 2 little things. That's it. Like... It's not much of a story. It is really, really not much of a story. Maybe if you could do some voice acting with this, you know, some briefing, some lore behind it. Why is this happening? You know, there's a bit of a mystery because there's a, biological attack, etc. Setting it up a little bit more, but it's really not there. Which is, again, rather unfortunate. You have a few more operations. You can see here, these are the total number of operations, with some of them being larger, like this one, and you've got some very small ones, like this one, which is just a single little phase, basically, whereas this one has 3 stages. But with no multiplayer, no co-op, and a very bare-bones story, at the end of the day, all you really have here is a versus the AI skirmish where the AI just spawns in an endless amount of limitless reinforcements, which it A, moves in your general direction. It's not much. And I'm sad to say it, because, again, I quite like the ideas, and I quite like a lot of the executions, but it is very difficult for me to recommend this game as it stands right now. Perhaps in the future, if it does get a second iterations with multiplayer, or it gets some, you know, story content added to it via free LC, for example, that might change, but right now, again, it's a skirmish mode with extra steps, which is, well, difficult to recommend in today's competitive environment. Until next time, I've been Arch. Thank you all very much for watching, and I hope to see you all again soon. Till then, have a good day.